would like to call upon several speakers. His Excellency Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, Coordinating Minister for Maritime and Investment Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Cheng Yuchun, Chairman and Founder of CATL, and Mr. Andrew Forrest, Chairman and Founder of Fortescue Future Industries and Fortescue Metals Group. And once again, the moderator for this welcome session is Dong Shui from the China Global Television Network. Dong, the time is yours.
Thank you. Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the B20 Summit, our live panel discussion for the Sustainable Resource Management for Economic Growth. My name is Dong Shui with the China Global Television Network. It was a great honor for me to host and moderate for the discussions today. But first, I'd like to inform you that this event is strictly followed the COVID-19 regulations here in Indonesia, and all the guest speakers and the crew members are fully vaccinated through time, so we all have tested negative for COVID-19. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone for your time and your presence here at the Convention Center. Also, I hope you are having a great time and valuable notes to take home with. Before we move further, allow me to introduce the distinguished guests here with us today. First and foremost, the Coordinating Minister for Maritime and Investment Affairs Indonesia, Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan. Thank you so much for your attendance. Chairman and founder of CATL, Mr. Zeng Yuchun. Welcome. And Chairman and founder of the Fortescue Future Industries and Fortescue Metal Groups, Mr. Andrew Forrest. Again, thanks so much for all the speakers and our distinguished guests who have attended today's event in person and virtually. Well, let's get started. By UN definitions, sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Well, global awareness on sustainability has increased significantly over the years, but actions often have been inhibited by concerns on the cost to economic growth. However, given our current global resource consumption trajectory, we are reaching a point of no return. Businesses and countries need to implement more sustainable resource management to ensure there will be adequate resources for our future generations to enable future economic growth. Today, we have our guests from both policymakers and policy practitioners. All right, now let's start with, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, who currently served in President Joko Widodo's administration as Coordinating Minister for Maritime and Investment Affairs, which means he oversees the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, the Ministry of Maritime Affairs, the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Tourism. That's quite a bunch. And he is one of the most influential ministers that Indonesia has, which is no surprise to whom have got to know him. Now, let's give the warmest round of applause to Mr. Panjaitan, and the stage is yours.
Good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Robin and Andrew Forrest. We are here now challenged by the people around here. Let me begin with Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country in the world with great potential. If you look at the slide, world's biggest nickel reserve with 72 million tons, and world's second biggest tin reserve, and also seventh biggest copper. But the very important one is the renewable energy, 37 gigawatt, And we are, I think, the fourth largest population on earth, and Indonesia consists of 17,500 islands. So you look at also, despite global turmoil, Indonesian macroeconomy, also indicators are among the best in the G20. All the data are here. You can have a look this one. Economic growth, low inflation, low government debt. This one very important because some people in this country thought that we have a lot of debt. No, we are one of the lowest debt among the member of G20 countries. Positive stock performance and stable exchange rate. You look at this one also. Some people thought Indonesia still like 10 or 8 years ago, which is not. We are different than before. Driven by strong macroeconomy performance, including stable investment performance. Look at all this data, ladies and gentlemen. This data, I think, give you a good indicator what's going on in Indonesia today. And also high export recovery, surplus of 29 consecutive months, never happened in our history. Always surplus for the last 29 months, even during COVID-19. If you look at our export, the highest ever in our history, last year it was $232 billion, and this year we believe we can achieve like $293 billion. And resilience also in external sectors. Indonesian current account used to be deficit. If you look at this data now, we are positive. So this is very important also to understand that the last 5 years, our economy growing very well. Indonesia is transforming its economy, no longer rely on raw commodities. And if you look at this slide here, before like this, 2015 we are here, only $1.5 billion. And this year we are here. So you can see the difference. And look also our export, also here, MHP battery, also look at this here, is very, very beautiful. And we are here now, but we are soon going to here. That's why Robin is very important for CATL to be here, because he is our very good partner for this lithium battery. Hopefully by 2024, we can produce a lithium battery here with the CATL. And this is also downstream industry, our aiming for next largest petrochemical and in the world, in North Kalimantan. This is like $56 billion investment. And also they're going to produce also new energy battery, 265 gigawatt hour, could produce a 3 million EV, which is EV is very important also for us. We have 11 gigawatt hour hydropower potential in North Kalimantan, starting construction anytime first quarter next year. And improving efficiency through digitalization, including natural resources, this one, making the country, our Indonesia, less and less corruption, and also less cost and state revenue and local industry and SME growing up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. Indonesian green industrialization strategy up to 2030, this one. If you look at this commodities, that we have a lot of commodities here, that potential, abundant of a very strategic commodities. And you look at also sector transition that we're going, we have a roadmap here, Robin, so don't worry, so you can enter, because Robin is a growing company right now. I hope it's going to be $300 billion company soon, yeah. And this is also the cross-cutting technology that we are aiming. And this is also the, the sustainability, and that's our target 2030. So we do hope that by 2030, our income per capita is going to be around $10,000 US. And climate crisis, this is also the issue that we are targeting this one, where we are moving very much, very fast on this one. So if any country look at Indonesia, or maybe businessmen look at Indonesia like 8 years ago, forget it. This is Indonesia, new Indonesia, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Indonesia committed to net zero emission in 2060 or sooner. This is, if you look at this data, next slide, please. Yeah, this one, deforestation, we are, I think we commit, our commitment, we deliver very much, and we are doing very, very well. We are also encouraging adoption of renewable energy. You look at this also the EV. And however, Indonesia will balance our emission target with economic development target. If you look at this one, G20 member contribute 80% carbon emission to the global. And Indonesia contribute per capita 2.3 ton per capita, while the baseline 4.5 ton per capita, while the developed country, they contribute like 14.7 million ton per capita. I keep telling to my friend from the developed country, have to be fair, yeah? If you want to reduce the carbon emission, cannot be like this. Have to be like this and then like this. So I explained this to Secretary Yellen when I met her here. I said, Secretary, we have to be fair. You have to, cannot be like this. It have to be like this. Indonesia up from 2.3 maybe to 4.5 to 5. And US from 14.7 go down to around 5, and then we can go down together. That's, I think, fairness in this life. That's all my presentation. Thank you very much. Hopefully that you can get better understanding about Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very eye-opening and insightful sharing. Now, let me introduce our second guest here today with us. Well, people call him Elon Musk's China battery supplier. As the founder of one of the world's biggest electric vehicle battery maker, his company, Contemporary Amperex Technology, or CATL, not only a key supplier to Elon Musk's Tesla, but also work with the other EV manufacturers such as BMW, Volkswagen, and Geely, and shares of his firm soared about 150% in the past couple of years because of the increasing EV demand worldwide. I'm honored to introduce you, Mr. Zeng Yuqun. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Mr. Livelihoods, Dr. Angel Forrest, Mrs. Selena Dong, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great honor to be invited to attend today's forum. As an innovative new energy technical company, we have devoted ourselves to sustainable development from the beginning. Especially, we have been working hard to make the outstanding contributions to new energy and the sustainable development of mankind through innovation in battery technology. Over the past few centuries, everyone knows energy generated from fossil fuels have played a very important role in the society and the economic development. But it also brings us great challenge in form of resource depletion and environmental degradation. Over a decade ago, the first attempts were made to use lithium-ion battery on a large scale of energy storage, conversion, and output in order to promote the electrification of transport and energy transition. Today, thanks to the technological innovation and industrialization, the energy density of lithium-ion battery has tripled. That means a battery car can really have range over 1,000 kilometers. The energy density of lithium battery tripled, the cost also dropped 80%. But also we're still working on lithium nickel price. So, but the good thing is the service life has exceeded over 12,000 cycles. Think about that. If you charge one cycle, go 500 kilometers, 12,000 cycles, it's really lasting longer for the batteries. Lithium-ion batteries now play a very important role in the energy transition and have become a critical base energy device to support humankind's sustainable development. First of all, battery can empower energy sustainability. Renewable energy sources such as wind, and solar energy are already inhospitable, but they are intermittent and volatile and cannot meet the requirement of the power grid. As a result, we have to regulate the load of the power grid through the energy storage. Economic-wise, the storage has to be cheaper, otherwise we cannot help industry. That's why which system can storage the renewable energy is very important. Still many argues in the world, but I do believe electrochemistry energy storage has many advantages. It provides millisecond level rapid response and bi-directional regulation with minimum requirement for different geographical conditions. It can be built quickly and flexible, deployed for power generation, the power grid, and the power load of the power system. However, due to the high cost, it has struggled to be put into commercial use. But fortunately, we have pioneered whole life cycle lithium compensation technology, which has doubled or even tripled the service life of lithium-ion battery as sustainability improved, the cost effectiveness and the efficiency of electrochemical energy storage system. Replacing fossil fuels with renewable energy has gone from just being a possibility to become a reality. Second, battery can empower environmental sustainability. Gas emission from cars is one of the main sources of environmental pollution and global warming, posing a constant threat to human health. At present, a comprehensive electrification has become a concurred global goal. Our battery have been installed in more than 6 million cars worldwide. By introducing the advanced technologies in material and the structure system, such as C2P, M3P, AB, and NP battery, and achieve DPPB level defense. The extreme manufacturing also helps us. We can provide the consumer with batteries of a high energy density, longer range, and improved safety. We have also been working on research and development in such technology as sodium-ion batteries, condensed solid-state batteries, and metal-free batteries. We are constantly breaking the limits of the battery performance so as to promote the realization of comprehensive electrifications. Third, the battery can empower the social and economic sustainability. Unlike petroleum, metals in lithium-ion battery can be recovered to achieve a circular economy, which is really sustainable. At present, our recovery rate of nickel, cobalt, and manganese has reached to 99.3%, and the recovery rate of lithium is up to 90%. Also, the module battery swap solution Evergo, which we launched early this year, aimed to address the problem of limited refuel options, long refueling time, and the low space utilization rate of charging stations. With our module battery swap solution, consumer only need a few minutes to refuel, and then they can select how many batteries they need. A battery swap station can serve hundreds of vehicles a day across different brands. Swap stations also become a UPS for a city, which greatly improve the utilization of land and power resource and resolve issues such as range anxiety, inconvenient energy refueling, and high total cost of ownership. Finally, I would like to say the sustainability development is the extreme essential goal for humanity. Sustainable management of energy is the foundation of the sustainable development, and also the key to addressing the climate change. We believe that together we can find a way forward through innovation, synergy, and high-quality development across the industry trend, as well as cooperations between the countries of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Very well said. Sustainable development is the eternal goal for humanity, and together we will find a way forward. Now, let me introduce our next guest. As the founder of mining giant Fortescue, he has been a key business figure for decades, but after doing almost the unthinkable, committing his heavy metal producing company to net zero by 2030, he's now gained a reputation as a trailblazing sustainability pioneers. Now let's welcome Mr. Andrew Forrest.
So Dongxi, Minister Lahut, my friend, Zhang Yuqun, thank you very much for your remarks. I'll try and be brief, but make some very strong points. When we first set out overseas, when the world shut down, COVID had stopped, all travel, borders were shut, I was able to see one minister in one great country, Pak Lahut, who welcomed me in. In the middle of COVID, and I was very worried for Indonesia. We were offering COVID testing machines, reagents, everything. I think Indonesia came out of it very well. And all your discipline, your masks, thank you, because you are keeping Indonesia safe. Pak Lahut, you remember we had the great fortune to meet with your president, and we went through really careful scrutiny to make sure we didn't have COVID. We had a big screen in between. We spoke with masks, and then we spoke with passion. And the president came up and gave us a hug afterwards. So it was, and he said to you, sir, utilising Indonesia's surplus energy to make green hydrogen around the world is God's work. And we, sir, are still as determined as ever to do that. Indonesia still has excess energy, but now, 2 years since that time, the price of making green hydrogen then was expensive, as you recall. But now, the cost of electrolyzers, the cost of the systems, the plumbing around electrolyzers have come plummeting down, almost a fifth of what they were. So my company stands ready, Minister Lahut, to attach electrolyzers, to attach green hydrogen systems to any excess power. Let's price it so we can compete successfully with oil and gas, and let's turn Indonesia into a great green hydrogen exporter. And I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, there is no reason not to believe in green hydrogen. Certainly, I don't see it in any way as competitive to batteries. I'm a massive believer in batteries. We own Williams Advanced Engineering, which is the leading prototype cutting-edge technology for batteries in the world. Just give you one example. Our other company, Fortescue Metals Group, introduced as a mining giant, that's true, has the biggest, heaviest, fastest bulk trains in the world. We go 500 kilometres from an altitude of only 600 metres down to sea level, and our trains carry 38,000 tonnes per load. But Williams Advanced Engineering, and I can't wait, sir, to view mass-produce these batteries for heavy industry everywhere, Williams Advanced Engineering introduced batteries powerful enough that just the parabolic gravitational energy from going down the hill, even though it's 500 kilometres, was way more energy than we needed to send that train back up the hill. It created the infinity train, zero pollution, zero external source of energy. And that's where I'd like to leave you, ladies and gentlemen, in my short speech. Fortescue Metals Group and Fortescue Future Industries have been pioneering advanced technology in green energy now for many, many years, some 10 years. We've spent hundreds of millions of dollars and we're more than satisfied with the outcome. We've committed last year and fully funding it this year to invest $6.2 billion to step Fortescue Metals Group totally beyond fossil fuels. In that process, we will save $3 billion of just not buying oil, gas and diesel. Our net investment, $3.2 billion. Our savings, almost $1 billion a year because we no longer have to buy fossil fuel. Now, that is a fantastic investment. And I say to every Indonesian here, you are blessed with enormous renewable energy. It is all around you, it's flowing down your hills, you have great wind energy offshore. Let's capture it. Asia, Indonesia-led, let's turn this world green. And let's start with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're all senior here. We're chairmen, chief executives. We need to challenge our remuneration committees, our boards of directors, to place at the height of incentives for our CEOs, that they turn their companies green. They also step them beyond fossil fuel. They use the huge amount of green energy which is available in the world, and they leave a world a safe place for their children. Thank you.
Again, thank you all for all these insightful points of view. Now let's move to our Q&A sessions. First, I would like to go to Mr. Livelihoods. So, learning from past experiences as we are exploring the innovative paths, so what initiatives or approaches should emerging economy like Indonesia to implement in order to successfully implement this sustainable resource management? Please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think developing country like Indonesia, we have a lot of national resources. We like to see also, of course, the value added, because with the value added, then we can improve the quality of technology, quality of human resources, and others. Besides that, of course, our exports are going to be bigger, so make our economy stronger. But the issue later on, how do we keep the sustainable of this raw material? We love very much also to discuss with the Chinese technology, and we build right now in Morowali that we can, extract again. Give example like nickel ore, the nickel ore from the used computer or lithium battery, etc. 99%, which is, I think, the very beautiful technology. So then we can manage now. We can see the equilibrium of the nickel supply and also the nickel extract from the lithium battery. So we care very much now. Like I mentioned many times everywhere, and a lot of young people in Indonesia right now understand this thing. Nobody can dictate Indonesia this anymore. So as long as benefit you and benefit us, we're going to do that. Not like 50 years ago, you just dig, and then you export. That's over. We're not going to happen again in Indonesia because we like to see something happen in Indonesia. We like to see the value added. We like to see also the people of Indonesia enjoy the raw material that we have here. Not only that, I think, if you look at now, we have 10 integrated industry in the eastern part of Indonesia. Now, good polytechnic, been there. Before, we don't have. Now, because of that, we have to improve the quality of the high school over there. Junior high school, elementary. So, within 10 to 20 years, you can see Indonesia much different than today. So that's, I think, the importance of this policy. We're not going to be serving only the developed country. No. Developed country are really, I'll give you an example, the contribution of zero emission. Yeah, the 14.7%, this because of developed country. Indonesia only 2.3%. I can say, we are a victim of your policy before, but we have also responsibility to the next generation of Indonesia. So any policy made by the government of Indonesia, also to the interest of the next generation of Indonesia. You have to keep in your mind this one. So don't worry about that. We'll deliver.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Now, next question, I'd like to go to Mr. Zeng Yuqun. Well, as we know, a battery is a device that stores chemical energy and converts into electricity. So, however, considering that most EVs are charged using electricity produced by burning fossil fuels, and the whole EV value chain involves heavy consumptions of electricity, many people doubt whether the battery industry is really green. So what's your take on this?
Thank you for the questions. This question has been asked decades. So someone did a study, Wall Street Journal, University of Toronto, they already did a study to the full comparison between the EV car and a traditional ICE combustion engine car. In a similar grade, for example, it's like a similar grade. So after they started, the first 20,000 marriages, the emission of carbon is similar, reach the same point. So if you go longer, we talk about 100,000 miles, then the EV save 77% less carbon compared with the internal combustion engine cars. So this is already clear, even in today's mixed power generated by the fossil fuels. Secondly, for the battery itself, everyone is thinking about battery. Probably you guys think about a lead acid battery, or you guys think about a primary battery. So how can make the battery green during the manufacturing of the batteries? Definitely innovation is very important. So CATL have been built 2 plants certified by the World Economic Forum. We call it lighthouse manufacturing plants. This is the only 2 battery plant in the world so far being certified as the lighthouse. But one of the plants, I'm very proud of that, is from Sichuan Yibin plant, which is being certified by WEF, zero carbon emission plant. Zero carbon emission, definitely we did it. So with the technology, with renewable energy, with the energy storage from battery, we can make the battery green, even the manufacturing process. So, and then people try to ask, how is the supplies? How is the mining? So how is the cathode material productions? Yeah, we still have a long way to go to find out what to do. Just like Mr. Liu said, there's a lot of renewable energy resource in Indonesia. You're talking about 427 gigawatts. So in such a case, you think about a gigawatt, it's times the 1,000 hour, maybe 2,000 hour. That's a huge renewable energy resource. So we can put the energy storage here also to help Indonesia to make Indonesia production of the mining, cathode, battery, cars, everything green. So I have all confidence on that. Thank you.
Since you mentioned the supply chains, I want to do a real quick follow-up questions. You know, the world economy is actually facing a lot of difficulties, including the supply chains disruptions, energy crisis, and trade tensions, and among others, which have hindered the development of many industries, including the EV industries. So I was wondering, what is the biggest challenges for you guys?
Yeah, I think the most challenging in this industry or all industry today is still how to make the innovation technology to overcome everything. Just like I mentioned, the battery was so expensive, people cannot afford it. But if you can make the battery cycle life 10 times, then each cycle, each mileage become very cheap. So you can afford it. So innovation is so important in everywhere, especially in the supply chain. Another thing is, for example, the material price going up very quickly. We're talking about lithium carbonate, we're talking about nickel. But if we can do the recycles, at the end of the day, 99% recycled the materials. So in the whole society, the material become very cheap and also sustainable, affordable. Another reason is recycle. Recycle need good technology to do the recycles. Good technology come out again, innovations. So key challenge to us, to this industry, is we need to keep on doing the innovation things. Another example is a sodium battery we invent. I'm proud of that because sodium is abundant. There's a lot of sodium in the world. How can make the sodium battery compatible with the lithium iron phosphate battery, a similar energy density or even higher a little bit? Currently, first generation, it will be lower. But the second or third generation on the road can be higher. So the most important for the society, for everyone in the world, is give little pension, give little encouragement for the innovation of the people. Give the support on education, give the support on R&D. I do believe technology will change the world. And even anything else will be the second priority. Thank you.
Thank you. It sounds like an ecosystem. Every dot is connected together with technologies and sustainable development. Alrighty, thank you again. So, Mr. Andrew Forrest, with the decades of your experiences in business industries and everything, how can we demonstrate to the world's major economies that acting sustainably can be done without sacrificing economic growth?
Very good question. I think Fortescue is a role model of that. We aren't Indonesian, so we can't capture so much offshore wind, so much hydropower, but every country in the world has its own sources of green energy, some more, some less. But we now have the democratization of energy, where energy doesn't have to come from some despotic country which uses it as a weapon against other countries. We now produce energy everywhere. And the technology spoken of here by my friend, absolutely correct. The technology is changing super fast. I've shown you just one example of trains. But let's not forget that batteries take us to a point, but after that, we need a mobile fuel source. And that mobile fuel source is, of course, hydrogen, all its derivatives, ammonia, artificial methane, artificial LNG, artificial aviation fuels. These are all made from the miracle molecule of green hydrogen. And, I'll sign an MOU with a major Indonesian company this afternoon. We're going to make green pig iron, we're going to make green steel. We can't do that with a battery. We need that chemical reaction which we get from hydrogen. We're doing the same thing in Western Australia. We absolutely know that there's a wonderful balance between batteries, which we're investing in, the cutting edge technology in the world, and in green hydrogen. So my strong, earnest appeal to the leadership of Indonesia, to the leadership of the world is, yes, let's get after batteries. We're all doing it. But let's always remember how valid your question was. If the batteries are not powered with green energy, then they're nowhere near as good as they could be. Let's go for utopia, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have the world's cutting-edge batteries from supply sources which are competitive, all powered by green energy. The solutions are there. We've just got to go after it.
So how can companies like yours, to ensure resources are not depleted to the point where it will impact the future generations?
Okay, I'm not a subscriber to the world running out of metals. I mean, I have seen huge copper deposits reveal themselves, huge rare earth deposits. I don't think we need to go anywhere near deep sea mining. As the price level shifts up, massive deposits become commercial. Price level shifts down, they stop being commercial. But we're not short of the molecules on the terrestrial Earth crust for copper, nickel, niobium, sodium, titanium. There is enormous resources out there.
Alrighty, thank you again for all your insightful points of view sharing with us here today. So it's almost noon, and for lunch, it's lunchtime. I don't want to hold you guys too long. But before we go, I'd like to ask each of you to give all the viewers here today with us one quick note so that we can take home with. Shall I start with you, Mr. Lihood? One quick note, one word or one sentence you want to share with all of us so we can take home with.
Well, I think I just want to share a message about Indonesia and look at Indonesia differently and don't hesitate about what happened in Indonesia, like with my friend Robin, you know, he's the biggest player on the lithium battery. Now we engage him to be in Indonesia. Same also with Andrew Forrest. So let's do something in Indonesia because we are very rich in the natural resources. We have especially the renewable energy, which is not many countries has this like Indonesia. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Zheng.
Thank you for the timing. I think invest technology, invest innovation, you'll invest future. Thank you.
And maybe you'll become richer, I guess. Mr. Andrew Forrest.
Look, I'd like to leave you with this scientific point. The world is warming way rapidly than we thought. We thought 2050 was a safe bet. It's not a safe bet at all. What we're seeing around the world are these drying and heating events, which as a scientist you cannot take as coincidence. You can't believe in coincidence. If you've got drying events in China, Indonesia, Australia, America, Europe, all happening at once, that's no coincidence. We have a 2025, not a 2050 problem. So I say to chief executives and chairmen in this room, incentivize your chief executives through your remuneration committees to turn your companies beyond fossil fuel. That's your job. If you're not prepared to do that, hand it over to someone who will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again. Well, today we had a very insightful and intriguing discussion, hopefully. I hope every one of you here with us would have something valuable to take home with. But perhaps one last question before we go. What kind of changes should ordinary people like me could make in their daily lives to contribute to the sustainable drives? Thank you everyone again for joining us today live here at the B20 opening panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the inspiring talk, and we've got many beneficial insights and also information from the talk that you just moderated. So thank you very much. And coming